What I was going to do is just look at some of the books um, that I've read, but you gotta be able to have an open mind, you know. Um, I'll show you some of the books I've read, and then or some of the ones that are more drawn to me, I guess you could say. Now, some of these books there is audio books, so if you don't like reading, but I mean, look, to where we are now, reading does exercise the brain, and see, our whole existence is it's so captivated by the technology that we literally have been paralyzed within the consciousness, to where if it's not on here, then that's stupid. Why? That's dumb. I mean, it's crazy what they've done. But I wanted that to be up there because some of this has nothing to do with that. But I want to touch on that. And I want to teach you how to watch their videos. And look, I'm going to teach you how the camera showed up. You know what I mean? And how, Mr. Dolph A. Lur hit. And how he was so secretive, right? But yet, there's so much video and everything. They know everything. Even though they had supposedly the best technology at the time and all that, and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, usually the ones with the best technology don't lose. So, but it was all an illusion. The whole thing is it's insane what they've done with human beings. But y'all know that I'm into the salts. So what I'm going to start with is these three right here. You got to get this one. You got to get that. You got to get that. You got to get that. You got to get this one. Try to get this one right here is I don't know if you can get it with the pages, because see how the ink, they're trying to preserve it, and some you can't read. But let me tell you something right now. Those four right there are enough to literally make you stop dead in your tracks of anything that you're doing and start a whole new life. Alright, just those four. You got to get the Manly P. Hall, The Secret Teachings of All Ages. You got to get that. You got to get Macrobius, The Commentary on the Dream of Scipio. This will blow your mind right here. It'll literally blow your mind. Look, I got little notes everywhere. You know, because I mean, it's it's cause, you know, the geocentric and stuff. But it'll help you get a better understanding of what's going on if you start looking up. You got to get this one. The Sacred Mushroom and the Cross. You got to get it. They say that they hired him, the Vatican, to decipher the Dead Sea Scrolls, some shit. And come to find out, it's many different meanings. And they ended up saying no. I guess because if we go with that story, maybe did they not think that somebody was going to catch some of Aquarius's cosmic energy coming down, like what's coming through me, what Jesus talks about in Scripture? And that's to the initiates if they're listening. You know what I mean? Did y'all bank on sort of like an alcoholic? Like, well, they'll relapse, and they don't. You understand what I'm saying? So you banked on the ignorance of Goy. But see, that's where I'm confused on how they allow all this knowledge. I can see why. But they know that half the people ain't never going read it. Not way more than half, 99%, because of the impulse of the technology and the world and the radio waves and all that shit. But yeah, they ruined him. They ruined it. That fucking book right there. Because see, it has to do with a lot of Sumerian stuff. And Samaria is some serious shit. Real quick, it's like the Sumerians and Babylonians were the first to bring measurement, weight, height, depth, all that down from the zodiac. Now, you ain't going to get that in any of these books, but that's, you understand, before the water split, there was spirit. Now, these atheist Christians have no idea what's going on. There has to be a beginning, just like it says. And so as they split, spirit, our spirit, as God started going, you know what? You're going to figure it out yourself. Split, so eventually the nervous system's developed, just like in a house, it runs it. It's not a being that you think of now. It still had connection to the firmament, sort of like them, it's not real electricity, what you know. But anyways, and then at one time in your head, you like reading now, it's really not good for us. But it's who we are now. At one time, you didn't have to read. The knowledge was in there because you come from there. So you just made it with the elements and everything. And that's the remnants of all this. And then you go through epochs and learn shit like that. Like post-Atlantean epochs. Because shit's real. And all we have is man, there's cowboys and Indians. Yeah, that's an illusion. But Rudolf Steiner, you got to get this. Comments to cocaine. And there's another one too, crocodile. I can't remember, but this alone, just this. If you're against every other one, just get this one. Yeah, fuck yeah. Yeah, and nicotine and alcohol, and that's the whole thing. And a lot of these individuals, what they've done is they have they already told us what was coming. Oh, and Ahriman is talked about quite a bit in some of them, And you got to get this: Eliphas Levi, the Doctrine and Ritual of High Magic. Okay, so those people say that's satanic. You watch Disney, you watch TV. A box with voices is black magic. That's our whole point. We're reading, allowing ourselves to dictate if we can differentiate something good or bad, while the ones against us sit there and channel sorcery in and stay a 5-year-old, because these books will tell you through the nervous system, which goes through there, positive and negative. There's the brain, the pineal pituitary. The current of those fake waves control that individual along with the pills, and it's magnetic blood sorcery is what it is. It is fucking badass. And on top of that, a goy. One of the ones that they just can't get rid of right now is blasting their ass. But they know ain't nobody gonna listen. Oh, and this one right here. That's Steiner again, Secret Brotherhoods. This can blow your mind. Then you gotta get Blavatsky's Isis Unveiled. This what's funny is I've got other books, editions like this, but not like these. I walked into one of these bookstores around here, a big one, probably 5 years, probably 6, I don't know, when I first started grabbing them. And man, right when I walked in, this was sitting right there on the shelf, $13 a piece. And it was like, damn! And see, these right here are real good. You got book 1 and 2. And look, you can go back through here. The index is so big, it's not even funny. Any word that you can possibly think of, you can go. And then it's got the bibliographical, I can't even say it, index. And it's got a bunch of other shit. Theories about reincarnations and spirits, And see, and that was the thing too, is these this Ahrimanic being. You know, the average person now has just got a childish 5-year-old. Well, I can do whatever I want, and when I die, I'm going to inherit heaven. That's a very, very low nature response. In those books, the Christians that say they're Satanists, those individuals and other books even take up for y'all and say y'all are blind as shit, you dumb. You don't even worship your own God. You pretend while wolves in sheep clothing come at you and just pimp you out. You know, but those are a few. And then this. You need to get this. You got to get that one. I'm going to read something out of this one. If I can find it. I should. But yeah, you got to get this one. Look. Bam. Hey. That's your chip if you're going to start the program and go through some steps or grades. Let's see. And it's funny because it's everything. It's absolutely everything. But you can't read this and think like this is real. It is in a sense, but not really. Where was it? We were talking about the Illuminati. And it talks about chaos in here too and stuff. There's the pendulum. It's chill. I hope y'all are doing alright. I should have done my due diligence on remembering where it was. And I don't. There it is. The Rosicrucians and the Bavarian Illuminati. It says 2 radically different organizations with their origins in Germany formed a deep background of the occult revival to which the Fraternitas Saturni was heir. These are the Rosicrucians, founded in 1604, and the Bavarian Illuminati, 1776. The Rosy Red Prussians are often discussed in FS documents, while the Illuminati are rarely, if ever, mentioned. It would appear that the FOGC shares certain organizational principles in common with the Illuminati, except perhaps for the FOGC's trafficking with personified demons. It says, from the very beginning, the Rosicrucians have been an elusive object of understanding. If this was part of the original plan, they have succeeded well. For anyone seeking some understanding of what the Rosicrucians were and are, the best places to start are Christopher McIntosh's and Francis Yates. Listen, it ain't nothing like it started, I can tell you that. Germany was a breeding ground for secret societies in the years immediately following the inception of the Protestant Reformation in the beginning of the 1500s. The deepest immediate roots in the region for such activities were probably mystical orders in the Middle Ages, such as the Teutonic Knights. Emmanuel as the known as the... No, we're not getting into that shit. But see, hang on. Let me go over here to hers. Let me see if it's in here. But see, they blatantly tell you that we don't have, it's rarely talked about, the Illuminati. And it's like, look, Saturn is their deity. Okay? And we can prove that the gown you wear, black, when you graduate is Saturn. The judge wears a black gown because it's Saturn. He's judging the rings. He's Lord of the Rings. I mean, you'll find out some of that in there. We can tell you that that's 12 jurors of 12 constellations. The TV people worship represents the box, which is a cube, which is Saturn. It's not hard to see it. But it's, let me see. This is 1. Is it 2? Just hang with me for a second. Cause see, some of my books I've had to get new ones, and all of my pen, notes and stuff. Some of these books are different, so I don't have my notes. Let's see. It was about the church, though. The church in one point in time, okay, and it was around the 1500s, was running so rampant with sorcery and black magic that they literally had to get the shit under control. Let's see. No, I do have a few notes in here. Let's see. It says this in all history and cannot be easily denied. Magic in all its aspects was widely and nearly openly practiced by the clergy till the Reformation. So if you go, that's what I'm saying, you gotta fucking be like, damn, this is like school. It's like, no, it ain't. It's beyond that. This is about like getting out of the shit. And each one of these writers represent a messenger. However the fuck you feel about it, they are messengers. Not even knowing what they're writing down there is going to be used in time if the right spirit grabs it and sees it for what it is and learns how to put it together like a puzzle, because they teach you. Because in Germany, like, that's why they had to get rid of that. That's why they literally blew it to shit and melted it. You know, and say, no, we gotta kill the root. And it's like, look at y'all, Disney brains, and you gotta kill the root. Think about it, if they cut that, fucking just that. Watch how many people just go crazy. But it says, and even he who was once called the father of the Reformation, the famous John Reuchlin, author of the Mirific Word and friend of whoever, the teacher, instructor, or whatever, was a Kabbalist and occultist. So the father of the Reformation, truthfully, was a fucking, and it's not just Martin Luther, like people would say, a Kabbalist and an occultist. And see, and this is the kind of shit they keep from people. You know what I mean? You keep knowledge from people, and it's always been like that. But listen, and I just wanted to share some of that with you. And just kind of scan read. You know what I mean? That's what I've gotten to do over time, to where, not in mine, but back in the day, if I had trouble reading. But dude, some of those are so fucking powerful that you won't have to do that, to where you could, because some of these books, no shit, took like, I had to wait like 5 years to read some of this shit, people would tell me. So in a way, I've been initiated, but not really. But I have. When you get into their material and seeing it was all hidden for so long, and then it was just unleashed, because they knew in time we're going to be at this point. But if you'll go back and watch, like, go back and look at the structures before World War II and then after. Look at these structures, look at the people. Okay, they're in little wooden things, you know, little wooden wagons here and there. And listen, this technology over there, that's just one place that they were going to get rid of, just like everywhere else, and start over, you know, with a new mindset, with a whole new Ahrimanic like mind. Because if we go back, and we do know that some Harry Potter shit happened in the middle of the 1800s. You know, and the childish mind will say this, Matt, that's just a movie. That's just a book. No, it's not. It has to do with black magic. It has to do with hardcore fucking sorcery that none of y'all know anything about. And everything we consume, physically, mentally, everything, it controls the nervous system. That's how black magic works. Any kind of magic. You control hypnotists and shit. Know that. You control the nervous system. It's not hard. Now, I can't fucking do it. I'm not even going to try to get into it. That's not what this is about. Because that's a whole nother world. You know, when you have some kind of knowledge that is unlocked, you either use it for good or bad. It's just like anything you touch is going to give a good or a bad sensation. You know, but you've got to really start looking at that structure. Those people didn't build that. Those people in that land right there was just like anywhere else. They were put there, populated a little bit, given propaganda in the community, you know, given a fake monetary system, very controlled. You know, there's an enemy over there. We got all this technology coming. You know, it's funny how all the different countries, not one was against video. Not one. And they'll tell you that that's demonology, pictures and all that shit. Okay, you had these groups called the Essenes, sort of like the Jesuits, but the Essenes wouldn't walk through town if they come up to a fucking gate and it was painted, they wouldn't walk through it. They'd turn around and go back, but they would give up their land to the cause to better whatever. But see, without the dumb people, then they don't have a job. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. You should. So the illusion is they look like they're doing something good, but they're not. But it's just like with him. He was so secretive. I'll burn all the technology. Yet they've got you can literally go through YouTube and watch probably 30,000 fucking hours of that garbage. And every time that they say Germany, most of them say that, Germany, like reiterating it over and over. So the brain hears, it's not real. Those people were not, they have no fucking clue of where they are. They're just put there in order for the world leaders to have their fake technology to film it all. And then down the road, they're going to create Hollywood, which represents sorcery, the wood from the holly stick, black magic, hexes. And they're the actors are creating the toroidal field within the goy through the pills and everything. The emotions are so glued to them. It's real. You're Ahriman. That's what I'm saying. Couldn't you imagine somebody in their 40s or 50s that's like literally gave their life to their career, you know, and they've got fake money and they think that that's Ahriman? Have you looked up? Have you done a thorough inventory? Schools should have Olympic-sized pools. Not one does. Why isn't there one observatory in any school? There's not. We got fucking tickets. You want to go to Discovery Museum down here? Hell yeah. IMAX, VR, that's programmed in babies young. Yeah. Slave system. And see, the Ahriman spirit won't admit it. That's why you can't go at it. But it's easy to fucking see what they did, why they did it, how they did it, and where in the fuck it's going. It's fucking easy, but then again, I don't know. Some things are just really, really flying through me right now, and I know it. I said it a long time ago. I said, this is my punishment, is seeing it and watching people every day just go further into oblivion. It's like, stop fucking watching that shit. You are fucking crazy. You are crazy. It's like, my boy's like, I want one of them big pads like you for Christmas. I'm like, you're not fucking getting one of them. You know, and so what I did is I went and bought my two youngest a 10-inch pad apiece and said, here, we got to get some whatever for it. But my whole point is they know some shit a little too about the truth. And it still ain't powerful enough to say, no way. I don't think I need that. Do you know what I'm saying? Because it's the impulse that they've seen from school and everywhere they've looked. That's Ahriman. That's who they are. It's Ahriman is in them more than me. And more than what's up there. And it's up to them, not me, to come out of it. And the only thing I can fucking do is live by example and keep getting ridiculed, laughed at, shunned, and still stacking years, almost a decade. We're working on year 10 right now. It takes 5 fucking minutes to listen. Ahriman is a very childish natured spirit. Ahriman fucking destroys himself. Ahriman won't listen. Okay? Ahriman will not look up. Ahriman says, go eat a dick, Matt. We are right. Do you see our career? Ahriman represents a piece of paper. Ahriman is your money. Ahriman represents everything materialistic in your fucking life that you create emotion to worldly. Those emotions come to life when we transfer our memory. Does this memory go anywhere when this dies? No, it's still in there. And when it comes back on, it's all there. Same thing with us. When we cross over, pass over, we don't just die. We're supposed to be getting ready and building our anatomy, which is an image of God. To know the zodiac, you got to know the brain. To know the brain, you got to know the zodiac. All those lights up there are in you. This is the King Dome, D-O-M. Dome. Not King Dumb, D-U-M-B. That's what this is now. See, 90% of your existence comes through your eyes. That's why so many people have a hard time with me, because you already seen that's just a fraction of the books. You know, we have all the medical books. We have fucking yearbooks from schools, very high schools, like just to see the symbols in them and show you what the fuck they were even doing back then to push that symbol of Ahriman, to never question it, to never, and to always have another repetitive generation of fucking ignorant ass goyim who always go to that and whatever it is, because we have controlled the blood in you through the chemicals that you've consumed, which is cut with mercury, and in return that mercury vibrates from the cell towers and in return controls you, because 90% of your existence comes through that shit. And then your ears hear it, and then you're a robot. Not until you build your own blood and know who the fuck you are and read some shit that's really of godly people, then you'll always be in a satanic fucking system and never question nothing. Love you.